Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon, my video series in which I use tarot spreads to help me explore topics related to living the intentional life. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Well friends, today is New Year's Eve, and as it is a New Year's Eve video, I thought I'd ask this question of the spread. What can we focus on to live our lives more intentionally in 2021? I will show you the spread in just a moment. You will see that it is the Melanated Tarot, one of my favorite decks. And at the end of the video, as usual, I will show you the name of the creator, the names of the creators, I should say, and below there will be a link if you're interested in going to purchase this deck yourself. So friends, the tarot spread has been laid, and let's dive right in. And so friends, you can see that this is a very positive spread, which is good, because the question was, what can we focus on? Not what do we want to run away from. Speaking of running away from, have you felt like this last year has been a year you want to get out of as quickly as possible? I think most of us around the world have felt that 2020 has been a year of injustice, pain, despair even, with the disease, with injustice, general confusion and disorder globally has been, unfortunately, the topic for 2020. And we look forward with joyful anticipation for what 2021 can bring us. And we can always live our lives intentionally if we keep ourselves open and focused in the direction we want to be going. So, friends, this spread will help us deeply. And let's look at the first card. So friends, the first card is the Two of Swords, and maybe it looks a little bit upsetting. There's a woman blindfolded. There are two swords that she's holding, and this is a card of choices, of decisions. So, our advice for 2021 is to make those choices. Do you find choices difficult to make? Or are you one of the people who just makes a choice as soon as you see there are things to choose between? Some people have no problem making choices, but still, even for these people, for the easy choosers, if you will, we want to focus this year on making choices and making our choices intentionally, because we are always making choices. Even when we choose not to choose, we are making a choice. And so many of our choices are, for want of a better way to put it, unintentional. We see something, for example, we don't like, and whether we are aware of it or not, we are making a choice for something else. And then we choose what we will focus on. Will we focus on the thing we are trying to get rid of, or will we focus on the thing we want to move towards? These are all choices. And to live intentionally, we want to be more aware of the choices we are making and which choices, including the choice of what to focus on, will serve us the best, will move us more freely in the direction of the lives we want to lead, in the direction of the love we want to create, in the direction of the creation we want to create, the art, the music, the experiences we want to create, in the direction of the job we want to find, or the place we want to live, or the vacation we want to go on, the experiences in the world that we want to have. Those are all our choices. And The advice for this year is to make those choices consciously and to choose to focus on the direction we want to go in rather than the direction we want to avoid. So friends, let's look at the next row of cards. In this line of cards, we can see a little bit of negative advice. Have you felt in 2020 that you've had to be managing your resources more carefully? Many people have found some economic or in some ways restrictions on their resources. It could be time, it could be money, it could be space, it could be many things. But in 2020, we're coming out of a time of the feeling of restriction and the need to manage our resources and to juggle our resources. And 2021 is going to continue that a little bit. We're still going to want to manage our resources in 2021. We're still going to want to be adaptable as we make our choices in 2021. And we have the choice of how we view this juggling. The two of pentacles, the two of coins in the first card is a juggling. You see a juggler juggling two different coins or two different pentacles. And we're still going to be juggling those. But the attitude in which we juggle is going to make a big determination of how we flow through into the beginning of 2021. If you are looking at this need to juggle your resources as restrictive, as in the Eight of Swords, being bound, being tied up, if you have a lot of negative thoughts about your resources, if you feel that you're in the middle of a self-imposed restrictions, if you feel your victimhood, if you feel confined, which is very possible, then you're going to move directly into the next card, which is the Justice card reversed. You're going to feel the unfairness, the lack of justice in your experience. You're going to feel the injustice of the world, perhaps. Your sense of restriction, of victimhood is just going to increase till you become the victim of prejudices, of biases, of lack of accountability in your environment. And that's not the direction we want to go in. Now, if you focus on how bound you are, you're going to feel bound. You're going to feel the victim. However, there is another choice you can make in this situation. In the Eight of Swords, you can also see that while she is bound, while her eyes are covered, just like in the Two of Swords, her eyes are covered, but she has a way to get out of those ropes. She has those swords standing there to use to cut the ropes, to free herself. And that is our choice. Whether we can physically free ourselves, or as we manage our resources, we can at least mentally free ourselves from the sense of being bound and restricted. There was a man in one of the Nazi camps during World War II. Viktor Frankl, I believe his name is. What he discovered for himself was in the middle of all of that pain, of all of that suffering, he always had the choice of whether or not to be a prisoner or to be a free man. We always have the choice. Our prisons, the prisons of our mind, are self-created. And we can liberate ourselves, at least in our minds. And as we liberate ourselves in our minds, we will eventually be able to liberate ourselves physically. And so that is the first choice we can focus on. As we manage our resources, are we going to choose to focus on our victimhood, or are we going to make another choice? Let's look at the next row of cards. So this line of the spread starts off with a card of celebration, the Four of Wands. We can choose, especially at this time of year. Now, we've come through Christmas, we're in New Year's, we're celebrating still. We can choose to continue celebrating. We can make that choice. We can choose to celebrate joy. We can choose to celebrate our families, the people around us. Now, when I say families, they could be our biological families or our chosen families. We can celebrate those relationships. We can celebrate the joy that we feel, that we were born with. And if we can celebrate those things, we can celebrate and experience harmony, then we can move more freely into the Queen of Discs, the Queen of Pentacles, the nurturer. We can find our inner nurturer. We can find our charity. We can find our noble spirits that can also appreciate our surroundings, that can appreciate where we are living. We can appreciate the people we interact with, even at a distance. We can appreciate the people in our lives. And as we move from celebration into nurturing, the doors will open. Whether they are physical doors, mental doors, or spiritual doors, the doors will open. And we will have that sense of new beginning that we crave. Have you been craving new beginnings? I have. I do. At this very moment, I am craving a new beginning in 2021. And we can get there. We can reclaim our innocence. We can discover our spontaneity again and our free spirits through our nurturing hearts and our charitable souls. We can rediscover our inner fool and start anew, start afresh in 2021. Let's look at the third line of this spread. So the last three cards were more in the lines of our emotional state: celebration, nurturing, innocence, spontaneity. This line is more in the physical realm, back to resources. So with our nurturing hearts, you can see in the Six of Pentacles the focus on giving and receiving. As we balanced our resources in the Two of Pentacles, part of that balance is the circularity, the cycle of giving and receiving. We can choose to be open to that cycle in 2021, sharing the wealth that we have in order to receive more wealth. Now that wealth can be in many forms. It can be money. It can be other resources like food or time. All of our resources in this physical plane are our wealth. Even our emotional wealth can be included here. So we want to begin this line with our charity, our generosity, and our openness also to receiving. If we can be open to that cycle, we can move directly to the Emperor, which is a very stable card. It's a card of owning your space and having the sense of management, being able to manage your surroundings, being able to feel secure and in charge of your life. So, in that cycle of giving and receiving, we can reclaim our stability. And as we reclaim our stability, we can rediscover our Knight of Discs, our Knight of Pentacles, which is that card of productivity, We can begin to feel productive again. We can start moving forward. It might not be a swift charge to a finish line. It could be a slow, a plodding, but moving forward. We can feel our reliability, the reliability of our resources again. We can feel the comfort of our routines. And that can be in alignment with our Fool. Our Fool is spontaneity, but we can also have our routines. On one side, the balance of spontaneity and innocence. On the other side, our routines and our productivity. If we can balance those two, we will have much more opportunity for opening ourselves to the powerful flow of our intention in 2021. Let's look at the last two cards. Friends, this spread has a lot of twos. We started off with the Two of Swords. Then we moved into the Two of Pentacles. And this last line starts with the Two of Wands. So again, we want to focus on the polarities and choosing for this year. The Two of Wands is a card of prospects. Choosing the directions we want to go in. Planning not for the individual steps, but planning the broad path towards what we want to achieve, what we want to create for our lives. We want to focus on our progress. Now that's part of enjoying the journey. Remember, it's always enjoying the journey rather than waiting till the destination. We want to enjoy the journey. So enjoying the progress in 2021. Focus on the progress. Focusing on discovery. Discovering the new things along our path that might shift the direction we want to go in. And then when we shift, choose the new direction. Yeah, the twos are wonderful cards. And the first piece of advice for this year, as we make our decisions, as we choose, is to enjoy the planning, enjoy the path, enjoy the discovery. And if we can do that, then we can relish the Six of Wands. We can celebrate our successes along the way. And we might be celebrated as we succeed, as we move forward along our path with the power of our intention. We might get our recognition. We might get a sense of growth in our self-confidence. We might feel more self-confident. And in that way, also continue celebrating ourselves. We don't need to wait for people tossing laurels at our feet. We can celebrate ourselves, and we can choose to celebrate ourselves as we move forward with intention, with ease into 2021. So friends, what do you think? I think 2021 is going to help us open more fully to the power of our intention and more fully able to flow forward towards the life we want to live. So at the end of this video, as always, let me encourage you, if you found something helpful, if you found something interesting, to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to get notifications of when I upload videos. I upload videos about once a week. Probably you know that if you are a returning visitor. Share the video if you feel called to, if you know someone who might profit from listening to this, to watching this, and comment below. I'd love to hear what your wishes are for 2021. What are your hopes for the new year, for the coming year? And how do you think you can open yourself more fully to the choices you want to make? So friends, I wish you a happy new year, a bounteous 2021. And as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and clear awareness. Thank you.